But Evelyn, does this go far enough? Obviously, it's still in the developer stage. So look, we don't have the full detail, and we can pore over it when we do get the actual policy. But on the basis of what you've heard so far, what do you make of it?
I definitely think it's encouraging that the opposition is actually being an opposition and they're actually offering something different. When I saw Sussan Ley talking about this, I was like, finally, somebody's actually talking about what everyday Australians are wanting our elected politicians to talk about. What Sussan Ley and the Liberal Party do from here is vitally important, because if they don't go far enough, people are going to go, they're Labor light again. So this is Sussan's, like, a real opportunity she has here to show that the Liberal Party have some backbone, that the Liberal Party can actually get something done and they can listen to the people. Because I don't think it's far enough. I think the first thing that the Liberal Party should do is perhaps define what it means to be Australian and what Australian values are, because that's up in the air at the moment. One of the biggest topics of debate right now, if you go on any social media, is what does it mean to be an Australian? It's almost like, what does it mean to be a woman? Nobody can define it anymore. So I think if she comes out strong, she defines what it means to be an Australian, she stands firm in that, and she offers a real opposition to the Labor Party, I think it could be really good, and I think it's good that they're having this conversation.
Practical tests. Years ago, Auntie Jack had this wonderful test where on one table was a salami, on another was a vanilla slice. If you went for the vanilla slice, you're Australian.
And you have your arm broken if you make the wrong decision. Does Labor think that migration is an issue, Joe?
Yeah, it definitely does. But again, it's a complex issue, and that's the problem, because, you know, a lot of the things that people are talking about are not just caused by migration, but also are why we need migrants to fix those problems. If you talk about the hospital system, we've got a shortage of health workers, and that's why we need.
So you're saying the government created the problem, and now the government are bringing people in to
the government
fix
hasn't created the problem. No, this is just how, you know, nations work. This is how they are built. They are built from bringing people in to fill the jobs that we need to give us the way of life that we've come to expect.
If that was happening, I think people would be happy with migration. But I don't think people are thinking we're getting the electricians or the plumbers. We're certainly getting the Uber drivers, and I think that's the problem.
But aged care workers and doctors?
But no, they are what we need, but I don't think we're getting that targeted skill migration, and that's why people are upset, because they're seeing these huge numbers blowing out. And particularly around foreign students.
Because people are just seeing this giant headline number. And again, we've got to get it right, and it's all about finding a balancing act. If you talk about, for example, you know, someone needing to pass an Australian values test like the citizenship, well, do you apply that just to permanent residents? I think that could be a pretty sensible move, because, of course, we live next door to them as we do to citizens. But you also apply to temporary workers who are being brought in to...
Why would you invite anyone in your home who doesn't share your values? So every
every tourist visa we hand out?
100%. I don't want anyone coming to the country that doesn't have Australian values.
So
seriously, why would you want someone in your home
every single prospective visitor to Australia should pass a citizenship test.
They should not be a danger to Australian citizens, and they should respect our Australian values for them to come here. Just like if I was to go to Saudi Arabia, I'm not going to walk down the main street in a bikini showing my tits. I would respect the country.
You know what, though? Saudi Arabia men are very disappointed to hear that,
and of course, that's why we have the...
It's called respect.
That's why we have the character test, or the minister has available to him the character test, so he can cancel a visa if he believes that the individual is not a good character. I guess the question is, and Joe raises it, you know, we need to fill a lot of positions, and that is true, but there is another way other than migration to fill these positions, and that is to have kids.